Hey, I'm Carlos Garcia, and today is part 2 of Best Whiskey of 2026 so far. Last week we had a really good lineup. This week we have the Guilfoyle in here. We have the new Russell's 45 anniversary, Russell's 13. And I was trying to figure out what to put in here against those two. And I had a couple different bottles. I had a Swagger 13 in here for higher age. But the Swagger 13 is only 100 proof. So then I was like, okay, these are both around 120 to 125. So I was like, let me put a couple other bottles that performed well for me this year in that proof point. So this is more of a proof battle here. So I added the little book that came out this year. I think it's, what is it, 10 or 11? Let's see which one it is. It is the 11. So here we go. Never mind. That's recipe 11. It's chapter 10. Lord. Look at the wrong thing. So it's chapter 10. This is 2026 release. And I also added this Nashtucky straight bourbon whiskey. This is a 7-year, but the 7 years is actually one that did the best for me. I have, I think, the 9, 10, maybe a 6. I have a few different ones. And this is 125.72. So it's a little bit outside my little range here, but I did really like this, so this is also going to be in here. And this is a single barrel, the rest are not. I'm just picking the best stuff of the year. But we'll see how the Guilfoyle does today and the Russell's 13 versus a couple other bottles that I thought were pretty good this year. But first, let's do a giveaway. All right, a lot of people on this one, and this is the giveaway for last week's part 1 of this series. So that makes sense, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of entries today for samples today. And this is for 1 ounce sample of all of them. Fred, a local guy, part of my Whiskey Cigar Club. So congratulations, Fred. All right, before we get started, don't look at my eye. I got a sty situation going on, so I look like a hideous monster. But it's not going to affect my tasting, so I was like, let me just record the videos anyways. But you know, if you just want to listen and not look, that's fine with me. I know some of you guys do that anyways. And so let's get right to the nose on A. All right, A on the nose. Pretty complex, and I feel like there's a note that I picked up that's going to be on a lot of these today because of the wild turkey funk. But oak, nutty, sourness, that's a note I'm talking about. A spicy dankness, which I don't even know what that means, and I wrote it down. It was like dank, and there was like a spiciness to it, a spicy note with it. So I mean, if you know what I'm trying to say there, please let me know. Because when I was writing, I was like, this is just ridiculous. There's a slight rare fruit note, and it was sweet, but it was more darker sweetness. So, you know, typically that would be kind of that red Jolly Rancher note, but it was not as that kind of artificially lighter sweetness. Overall, I don't know if I love that nose, but I didn't hate it. It was definitely like a more of a complex situation there than anything else. So let's go to B. All right, B coming off A seemed lighter to me. Slight dusty, oak, vanilla, a slight peanut shell note, which isn't my favorite peanut realm of a note. But overall, it was much lighter than A, where A was kind of pushing out those notes a lot easier for me anyways. B was kind of hard picking up those notes. But there is a nice sweetness here in the background. I mean, I nosed this for a while, and now I'm nosing again. I'm picking up a little bit more red fruit sweetness. All right, not bad. I would say they're around the same, but they're different right now off those noses. But let's go to C. All right, a much stronger, bolder nose here. We have a lot of oak, a slight permanent black marker note, a slight purple Jolly Rancher note, which I love. Medicinal cherry, which is my favorite cherry. A sour funkiness, a nice darkness overall to it. Again, it's a decent nose. I do like the oak, like the strong oak influence on it. You pick up that purple Jolly Rancher note pretty, I would say a little bit better than slight, but there is some of that permanent black marker note that kind of brings it down. So man, all these noses are kind of good and bad at the same time. Let's go to D and continue with the theme. We got a slight banana, a woody note, sweet, and a slight cardboardy note, which again, some good, some bad there. It doesn't seem to be as high age as some of these other ones, and that can be an indicator because some of these are a much higher age than some other ones here. So, but we'll see. So none of the noses actually blew me away. They all had like something that was kind of bringing it back down. So hopefully the palates do a lot better. So let's get ready to palate on A. All right, first sip of the day, not bad at all. So oak, jam, darker, So it definitely gave me like a more of a darker profile right off the like right away drinking. But this again a little bit brighter, so sweet marshmallow red fruit. And then on the finish, oak, vanilla, marshmallow, and that chloroseptic cherry note that I get sometimes on the finish and never on the palate. Yeah, anyways, I got it on this. Overall, pretty good, but it's first sip, so let's go to the second sip. So interesting, on the second sip, I got mainly the same notes. What was happening was those darker notes and brighter notes were kind of fighting each other on the palate in like not in a good way. They weren't like complementing each other, they're kind of clashing. There's a warm my mouth over here. Okay, let's go with third sip and kind of see what happens. Yeah, that's pretty good. The front end of the palate to the mid palate is what I really enjoy about this pour. It's the darker jammy oakness that I really like. And I'm not saying I don't like the end of the palate where it's that sweet. I wrote vanilla this time, but that sweeter, a lighter vanilla marshmallow red fruit area, still good. But I think I prefer maybe the front palate a little bit better. The finish is still good. That chloroseptic cherry note isn't as intense as it was in the first sip. So I mean, already slight, I guess. But overall, decent. I do like that quite a bit. Nothing off-putting, so that's good because, like I said before, the noses had a little bit something off-putting. So hoping the palates do not. So let's go to B. All right, I like B right out that first sip. A good amount more than A. It's much darker overall on the palate. Oak, richer, darker, dark cherry, dark chocolate. On the finish, nutty oak, richer, sweet chocolate, dark cherry. So a lot of the same notes. And I'm not gonna say it was hard to pick up the notes. It was just that it was kind of like all one kind of profile where like A was more of like kind of roller coaster where the peaks and valleys you can pick up different notes. This was kind of more of like a steady roller coaster where a lot of the notes were kind of like together and you were just kind of picking them all up as you're going. So let's go to second sip. I mean, that's really good. So good. And this time, because I said it out loud, and I wouldn't go that's like kind of that roller coaster, but some of the notes like kind of explode. Like I got a really nice cherry note in the front end that, I know I wrote dark cherry, but it was like an explosion of it. Overall, really, really good. Let's go third sip. All right, third sip, more of the same. Just a really, really good bourbon with those darker notes. Not super complex, but just a much richer experience overall. I do like that more than A so far. Now, some of these are very expensive. Looking at you, gold foil. So, I don't know if that's worth that, but it is very good. So let's go to C. C might have hit the trifecta of jaw retro notes. You guys know me, my jaw retro notes, but it's just, for me, it's just easy. It's a sweet, certain fruit color. Oak, slight permanent black marker note, purple jaw rancher. That is the strong parts in the beginning. It gets sweet, it gets brighter. I was picking up cherry, strawberry, watermelon, which, you know, you could just say those are all like the red jaw rancher, the pink jaw rancher. There's a nice sweetness there. There is darkness there along with that because of that. So I know I always crap on that permanent black marker note because I don't like it. But if it's slight enough with the oak that's there, it balances off a lot of these different sweetness and fruit flavors. And I think that's a great palate. The finish kind of went down a little bit though. It was, let's see, where am I at? Finish. Oak, vanilla, slight permanent black marker note again. The cherry was almost like chloroseptic cherry note again, which is crazy to have it twice in one blind. But I didn't write chloroseptic cherry, I wrote cherry because it was so slight. But I would definitely pick up the cherry note. But the finish wasn't giving me all that nice different fruits and sweetness. So I really like the palate. The finish was okay. But let's go to second sip. All right, that palate's still very intense. Those notes are so like in your face. It'd be hard for me not to pick up something. But really good. On the finish, I did get some more red fruit, some sweetness. I don't write vanilla, but I already wrote vanilla. So the finish is getting better. The palate is phenomenal. Let's just go third sip. Yeah, more of the same. A lot of those nice candy sweetnesses of the fruits with the darkness. Just really enjoy that a lot. Nice oak. The slight permanent black marker note is getting less and less every sip. What you're getting is a lot of that oak, the vanilla, and all the different fruits with the sweetness. palate also got, or the finish got a lot better as well from the first sip to the third sip. Really good. They are getting better each one. So let's see what D does. All right, I don't know if I just because it's coming off of C or what, but D was just not on the level of the first three here. And this is one of the reasons I was doing this whole series is for me to do my end of the year top, you know, last year I did top 25 of 25. I'll probably do a top 26 of 26 just because why wouldn't I? Cause last year was even like, it was a top 30 basically anyways. But I will say that every single one that we're going over this series all score at least a 3.7, an average of a 3.7 or higher. And I kind of already think I'm going to score this lower than that. But this is why I'm doing this series at the midway point of the year to kind of give some things an extra score to kind of confirm some of these scores. And then when you head them against other really good bottles, it kind of shows a little bit more. And I think D is kind of showing off that it doesn't belong in this conversation. I really hope this is not the gold foil. It cannot be. Man, that'd be crazy. But on the palate, slight banana, crafty, cardboard, which is part of my crafty note anyways. On the finish, woody, slight coffee note. Just coming off of C, it just was way worse. So let's just go second sip. All right, second sip on the palate, I wrote sweet, woody. On the finish, I wrote sweet. It's not bad. Definitely coming off of C, just was underperforming. But yeah, it doesn't belong in this. But let's do one more sip. A little savoriness on the finish, kind of almost like that grilled tomato note that I get sometimes. You know, I keep like trying to change the score on this. It's not bad. The problem is some of these are just so good. But I'm gonna take a break here, drink some water, A/B some of these, especially these three, and kind of see how they fall out. So I'll be right back with some results. All right, we're back and kind of went how I would think it would go. So before we go to that, let's do the giveaway. We'll do 1 ounce for this whole series. We'll just kind of do 1 ounces. No one complained too much last video. So if you want to win 1 ounce samples of all 4 of these bottles, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment with proof. So PROOF 26. I just keep putting 26 at the end of everything. Because this is supposed to be like between 120 to 125. Even the Nash Tucky is a little bit higher than that. But right around that proof point to kind of see if this is the best proof point in whiskey. Maybe. None of them tasted proofy to me. And, you know, 120 to 25 is a decent proof. So that is a good part. I don't think the proof had anything to do with the winner here today. I think 100% to do with the actual flavor profile and possibly the age. So in last place was the Nash Tucky 7, which I'm sure a lot of people are like, why is this even this lineup? At some point I scored a high this year and it was on my list. I was like, man, that's punching up above its class. Obviously, when it's compared against some other heavy hitters, it did not do so well. I scored a 3.5, which let me cross this out, it looks like a 4. I kept going back between a 5 and a 4. Really good, but yeah, nowhere close to this kind of level. But it is cheaper, younger age, so it shouldn't be. But, you know, imagine if it won. Everyone would be going after this bottle, I think. Okay, so then we go into third place, which is the Little Book 10, which I kind of was like, I did enjoy this. I never liked the price on this, but I scored a 3.8, which is still a good score. We'll see how it kind of, if it falls off the top 26 list by the end of the year or not, but it's, I'm sure in that kind of that range. And then it came down to the new Russell's 13 45th anniversary and the Wild Turkey Gold Foil. And the winner, with no surprise, is the Wild Turkey Gold Foil. This thing is just so freaking good. Now, I scored today a 4.25. I think I scored the other day like a 4.3 or higher. I did do a video, or did multiple videos of Bourbon Isle the other day, and one of the things we reviewed, or we were talking about, or I don't know if I reviewed it or not, but was the Wild Turkey Gold Foil versus the 15. And that might be a video I do soonish on this channel. I gotta see how good that video actually came out. I might just like go watch that video, kind of see. But this Russell's Reserve 13, the new one, I scored it a 4, and I'm pretty sure that's actually what I scored it the other day as well. So this is at least being around the same consistency for me. I really do like this, and it's half the price of the Gold Foil. So, I mean, if you can find the Gold Foil, I would still buy the Gold Foil. for MSRP. And I know some of you guys are being able to find it like for $3.50, $3.60. In Connecticut, for whatever reason, they're $3.99. But the Russell's 13. You know, it's a couple years younger. The proof points are around the same distillery, and it's half the price. It doesn't come with the, you know, it doesn't come with the fancy bottle or tube and everything. Very, very fancy, but it's still pretty good juice. Still pretty good whiskey anyway. So that's that. I might do maybe the best ryes next Wednesday. We'll see. And this Friday is going to be an interesting video. We're going to do the Penelope cocktails over ice. So if you want to know my opinion on the 4 different Penelope like ready-made cocktails, and I'll be talking about 2 different ice machines. So that'll be Friday's video, and so it'll be interesting. Hope you guys watch that as well, because when companies send me stuff, definitely need the views for those videos so that other people can send me stuff, right? And some of those companies do giveaways. So support the people that support the channel, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. So definitely check out Friday's video when I post that. I guess I'll finish off with, if you've had the GoFoil, definitely let me know what your thoughts about it or any of these other ones. Don't do anything stupid. And if you do, don't get caught. Bye.